Kyrie has now asked for a trade, Hayes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you not get the sense that there's been maybe 1 to 2 months without his name being in the spin cycle, and he just said to himself, I got to get back in the game. And it was almost like there wasn't enough Kyrie talk going around, so we said, I'm going to start some, and I need some, and I'm going to get it. It's insane.
Yeah.
Whether he thinks of it that way or not, what you
It
just
looks
said is
that way.
It's 100% accurate. Is this guy, he's been very quiet, shockingly quiet based on his recent history. And he was long overdue to take over a news cycle. And he is a captivating figure because of how talented he is, because of how outspoken he is on different issues.
Yeah.
And, based on the team he plays for. He plays with Kevin Durant. Like prior to Durant's injury, they went on an 18-2 run. They finally started looking like a team that people were hyping as a legitimate title contender. And now what is being reported, well, now it's over. Exactly. It's over because what's being reported is Kyrie isn't happy with the way the contract negotiations are working out because he's up for a new deal in the summer. And it's being reported by a couple of different sources. Brooklyn was willing to talk extension, even offer an extension, but with a ton of stipulations, as they should, right? With probably a lot of clauses, why would you commit to this guy? How can you trust him? You can't.
But the question is,
he's taking his ball and going home.
Who else wants to do it? Who else is sitting there saying, I got to get this guy?
That's why I'm not convinced he gets traded. You could have had him in the summer. No one went after him. Like no one went to get him. And why would you bring this guy into your room? This guy could 2 weeks from now just say, I'm out of here for a month. I need a break. I'm not practicing anymore. Who knows? He's a terrible teammate. Like that's what it is. He's an unpredictable guy. He's doesn't mean he's a bad person, but we're talking into the concept of sport and through the scope of sports. This guy, you cannot have faith in him if he's on your team. I don't see how you can.
Could you imagine the clause in the contracts, like no Zoom during the game? Remember, wasn't he on a Zoom? Like, wasn't he on a charity Zoom or something? Just sitting there, like insane stuff has happened with this guy involved. Like, you're right. Who's putting up their hands saying we need him? Yeah, there's a difference between the player because the player's fantastic when he's engaged.
Yes,
when he's engaged, but when are you going to get engaged, Kyrie? Because to me, it's the circus follows this guy everywhere he goes because it just doesn't. I don't think he's 100% engaged, when it comes to playing basketball, there's always something going on with him.
There's always a distraction, and there's so many different elements to this because you're as a player, guy's a superstar. Like he is. He is a legit game changer, and desperation makes people and teams do desperate things. Right? Like there will likely be teams calling. They will, and there will be teams enticed by the talent. But this is a guy where what I think you can say is at a minimum, he's thrown a grenade into the Nets season. He's thrown a grenade into their season.
Dude, imagine how disappointing Hayes. Like they turned it around, and Kendrick Perkins, he was tweeting like, I don't know, a month ago, he's like, watch out, the Nets are actually for real now. Or whatever he was saying. It's like
18-2 run.
Yeah,
they're the hottest
and
team
then
in the NBA.
And this guy pulls this stunt. Like it's outrageous for that to happen.
Yes, and what I would love to see right now, what I would love to have access to, is a Kevin Durant live stream where he takes a truth serum and he's got to answer. How are you really feeling about it? Because you hatched your wagon to this guy. KD could have stayed in Golden State. He could have stayed with Steph and Clay and Draymond. Instead, he said, "No, I'm gonna take up the Kyrie Irving business. I'm gonna get in bed with Kyrie Irving in Brooklyn," and it's been a mess. And even if you keep Kyrie, because there's no guarantee they're going to trade him, no guarantee a team's going to pay a price that Brooklyn thinks that they desire or that they should have in return. No guarantee another team is going to say, "We want this guy in our room." But what you're risking if you're Brooklyn now is if you don't trade him, there's a chance he shows up the day after the deadline and goes, wait till you see what I have in store now. Wait till you see me down the stretch. You think it's been a circus the last couple of years? Wait till you see me. And, they're screwed. They're screwed. And Kevin Durant is screwed. Because the happiest guy in the world is Ben Simmons. not playing, injured, coach can't stand him, still can't shoot, but no one's talking about that, because Simmons is out of the limelight. It's all about Kyrie.
Well,
but
Simmons
I feel for
Kevin
Durant.
Simmons is in the best league in the world to kind of like hide a $35 million player that can't score a basket, because there's always a story